Hey guys, Darth Gloric here, back with another Motovlog. So, I may have done something. I decided, why have one motorcycle when you could have two? So you'll notice that this is my, this is the one we've been riding. We've taken it now twice out together. And, yeah, that's my 2009 Kawasaki Vulcan 500. Well, this is my new one. This is my, also 2009, but this is my 2009 Yamaha V-Star 1100. So it's obviously a lot bigger than my Kawasaki, but I decided, originally I was planning on waiting until next year, but I decided that I wanted a newer, bigger, more powerful motorcycle sooner. So here we are. But yeah, this is the new baby. So it's big, it's powerful, has very, very loud pipes on it. So it's, like I said, very thunderous when it starts. Now it's pretty dirty. I bought it a few days ago, but I'm planning on cleaning it this weekend, and so it will be shiny when I'm done. But we're actually going to go on a road trip together. We're going to do a little ride around. It should be in the neighborhood of 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. It should be very, very pretty. And but yeah, this is the new baby. So I ordered a license plate frame. And it should be here this next weekend, something around that. And I actually, that's the other thing I meant to show you guys. I don't know if you've seen this. So on the Kawasaki, I have a little duck. His name is Charlie. And he has a little propeller, and he has the little old school, like World War I and II, like World War II era, like shark teeth on the helmet, and his sunglasses, and he's too cool for school. And yeah, so much like that, I actually ordered another one for the Yamaha, and for the V-Star I ordered another one, and my new one is a little hamster, and I think he's gonna sit right here, because I think there should be just enough room. Now, I think this is a cell phone holder. I think it would have to be adjustable, because that certainly will not fit my cell phone. I haven't used it yet, but the bike has, but my newer, bigger bike has lots of interesting toys. The first thing is, I'm pretty sure this is cruise control. I think that's what this is. I haven't used it yet. This trip we're going to go on now is the longest one I will have ever taken on it. But my new one's fancy. It has a trip meter, so I can actually keep track of my miles that way, rather than just keeping track of the overall miles like on the Kawasaki, which is super, super neato. And it has full-on running boards. It's shifter, which hopefully you can see it. It actually has a toe and heel shifter, so it's one for down, back. The heel is for up, and the toe is for down. And so that's different. Obviously my other one does not have that, so that's different. And but yeah, it has bigger saddlebags, has a passenger seat at the moment. I actually strapped my backpack to it because it's really hot, and so I'm going to be wearing my leather jacket. But the problem is, my backpack covers up the little vents that's on my jacket, and so it doesn't actually help anything. So we're going to probably keep the jacket unzipped for starters, and then I'm going to keep all the vents open. And with the backpack strapped to the bike rather than to me, I'm hoping it will be cooler. So that's the plan. But so we're going to go ahead and get rolling here, and I adjusted. My mirrors these mirrors have some sort of weird problem. They don't really want to stay up or like stay in place, and so I have a wrench with me, and I tried to tighten them with the wrench, but it sort of seemed to work. So we'll see if they stay. If they don't, I'm okay with replacing them. I don't love these mirrors. They're very small. The ones on the Vulcan are better. Anyway, but now I have a bigger bike. So generally speaking, my Vulcan, that'll be my around town bike, because it's great for that. It's much lighter than this one. It's much more maneuverable than this one. But obviously it's not nearly as powerful. And I don't love doing 70 on the Vulcan. I can do it, but I don't love it. It doesn't feel super, super secure. Whereas doing bigger speeds on this one is fine. It's much, much more secure feeling. So generally speaking, the Vulcan will be my around town commute to work bike, and this will be my weekend days off road trip bike, generally speaking. And sometimes I'll mix and match, I'm sure, but for now that's the plan. At some point fairly soon, I'm gonna get highway pegs. Tried to on the Vulcan. I couldn't make it work with the bars in front. It was just I couldn't make it work. But this one has highway bars, and these ones are very standard size ones, so I can get highway pegs on those ones. With that'll be easy. I can put them right here, and then they'll fold up and down. It'll be very simple, and which will be very nice. But yeah, so I'm going to keep the mic plugged in just long enough to start the bike, so you guys can hear the roar. And then once we're getting going, we'll start rolling here. I'll probably cut back in to when we're semi-close-ish, maybe. I might cut in sooner than that, maybe sometime while I'm in the city. You never know. But most likely I'll be doing the same speed-up footage lo-fi thing that I usually do. So you'll be seeing more of that. And yeah, but I'll keep the mic plugged in long enough for you guys to hear the roar. So I'm just gonna grab the jacket and we'll get rolling. Something soon that we're probably going to tackle though is getting a lighter jacket, because even with the vents open, this jacket is still leather and very heavy. So you know, it's still leather and very heavy, and so with that knowledge, it's I would very much love to have a lighter but protective option. So we might be looking into a lighter, more protective option pretty soon. Time will tell. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get this puppy started. I guess we'll open the choke all the way until it's, although it's not that cold. But one thing I meant to say, so I have ND16 on the camera because the clouds are kind of coming and going, and sun is kind of coming and going. It's a good temperature, otherwise it's not terrible. But there's no wind, which is fantastic, and so it's very light breeze if when it shows up, and it's not bad at all. So I have my middle filter ND16 on. So also I hope the angle is right, because with the new setup, with this new helmet and the new GoPro setup, I can't see where what the camera can see. On my other setup, I could see just enough to tell if it was in frame, if it was perfectly up and down. I cannot do that with this setup. So in this one, I have to do it to what I think feels right, and then hope that's it. So I'm hoping you're up and down right enough, but I don't think it'll go back any farther, and I think that's how I know. So we'll see. Anyway, so I'll keep this on. You guys can hear the rumble as the beast awakens. Okay, welcome to Heber City, Utah. So yeah, welcome to Heber City, Utah. So obviously we've been here before. We've obviously been here before together, but last time we were doubling back. This time, not so. We are not headed back that direction. So we are going to get gas. I guess I'll probably go straight and then we'll hook a right, I guess, or a left, sorry. Anyway, so yeah, we're actually headed down that way as soon as we get gas here. So yeah, we are doing something different. So a couple things that occurred to me that I forgot to mention. So first thing is exactly where we're going. Is this only diesel? I don't think so. No, we're good. Anyway, so a couple things that occurred to me that I forgot to mention. So actually, maybe we'll do this after we get rolling again. So actually, I'm gonna get gas. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, now we got gas. So now, sorry, I already lost my train of thought. So now that we got gas, we can get on the road again. And so the first thing that occurs to me where we're going. So it's this little like loop that I did some research on Google Maps, and I found that this little loop of highways, part of it is things we've seen before, like the trip to Heber. We've seen that canyon, and then once we're going to a little town called, I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's like Duchesne or something like that. I forget how it's spelled, but it's like Duchesne or something weird, but some weird named town in Utah. And I think it's like 69 miles that way. We're gonna go on, I believe this is Highway 40, I think technically. We're gonna stay on 40 until we see 191, and you'll probably recognize that number from our big road trip, from the big vacation. But we're gonna go on, stay on 40 till we hit 191. Guess we'll test how well you guys can hear me. yeah, so then we're gonna stay until, and then we're gonna go, and then I don't know if 191 is before that other town or not, but we are gonna go down there. Oh yeah, there we go. See that town? Like, see, it's like Duchesne or whatever. Anyway, and we're gonna stay on there. So then, and then once we're in that town, then we're going to actually go, then we're going to bounce down following 191 towards Helper, Utah, which you'll probably also recognize. We went through Helper to get back home, and then we will be going up through Price Canyon. So, and I think it's called Price Canyon, but regardless, and then that's where we'll be going. So it's that loop. The other thing, this bike, a couple things I forgot to mention. The first thing is that this bike is much bigger fuel mileage wise. I mean, not fuel mileage, but fuel tank, like a fuel capacity. This bike is a 4.3 gallon tank. The one on my Vulcan is not that. But the interesting thing is this bike gets way worse fuel mileage than my Vulcan does. So because I was learning on the bike, I haven't been driving it optimally. I've been keeping the choke halfway open as I've been driving, because it felt like it was going to die on me. But really it's actually not. It's just it idles so low that it felt like it was going to die. I think I'm in top gear. Yep, that's it. Anyway, so far I got, it looks like I was getting 33 miles to the gallon, which on a bike is not amazing. My Vulcan gets 55 in town. If you actually take it on the highway at like a consistent 65, 70, it actually gets 53. It does worse, because you're forcing the engine to do a little bit more than it wants to, being like 70 miles an hour kind of thing. Anyway, and so yeah, so this one, I bet you I can beat that. I can get better than that now that I'm keeping the choke closed after it's running. That'll be a huge difference. And then part of it too is how you drive it. I feel like I normally drive pretty gently, but I've been learning the bike, and so I think I can improve upon that. Anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna be rolling down this. It should be very pretty. It looks very, very dark, but I am wearing a mirrored, my Motovlog helmet has a mirrored visor, so which is tinted, so it's darker for me than it is actually. It looks, and plus I'm wearing my sunglasses inside the helmet, so it looks really dark for me, but I don't think it's not as dark as it looks, and for you guys I think it'll probably be okay. Anyway, and so yeah, and the other thing I meant to mention is the bike. So I have a tradition of naming all of my motorcycles. I mean, I name all of my vehicles. Any vehicle I've ever owned other than one, I've always named them. I probably mentioned it. Man, this guy is absolutely crawling. Pretty sure the speed limit is 60 in this part. We're barely doing 50. Anyway, and so I was trying to decide on a name for the bike, and the Vulcan's name is a Akame, A-K-A-M-E, like the Japanese name. Anyway, and so that is the name of the Vulcan. Now I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that, and the little duck's name on the Vulcan is Charlie, which I mentioned earlier. But I haven't named the little hamster that I'm getting for this one. I have a couple of names floating around. We'll see which one sticks. But the name of the bike is Ivy. So this bike's name is Ivy. Now the reason I went with Ivy is because in the book that my sister and I are writing, one of the characters is a pirate, and a pirate captain that I made, and her name is Ivy. And personality-wise, and I'm not going to go into all the details, but personality-wise, I think she fits this bike pretty good. So yeah, that's what I decided to go with. So anyway, on to Duchesne, or however the hell you pronounce that, and then after that we'll be bouncing down towards after that we will be bouncing down towards Helper. So, you know, I will see you guys along the way. Okie dokie. So we are in Helper. So welcome to Main Street. I guess this is Main Street in Helper, Utah. So we just got gas, which occurs to me I need to reset my trip meter. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, we just got gas. I did another quick double check of our fuel mileage, and at the last one, it occurred to me at the last fill up that I forgot that that tank wasn't full when I did that. I forgot that I forgot to reset the trip meter because I'm not used to having a trip meter on my motorcycle, and I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that. I went about 10 miles or so, so it was a little bit better than it looked like, because it looked like we got 33, which I thought was terrible. But then, and I didn't refigure the new number but I knew it would actually be better than that. So then this time I did a quick check, and it is much better. So this time we went 109 miles it was 113 miles this time, and I put 2.80 gallons in it, and so approximately we're getting about 40 miles to the gallon. It's like 40.33 miles to the gallon, something like that. And so obviously that's much better. That's, 40 is way better than 33, so that's exciting. Anyway, and so now that we got fuel, and now we're all done, and now we are headed north, headed back home. So that's what we're doing. Oh, it's actually this one right here. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. Okay, welcome back home, everybody. So we're sitting on Ivy, and just pulled in, and that was a good ride. It tried to rain on me like 4 different frickin' times. I'm actually still wet. You could see, might be able to see the drops, and when we were almost here, so it tried to rain on me 4 different times. The last one it was currently sunny right above us, but somehow raining, and we were just about here, and it sprinkled on me yet again. And then 2 of the times we were in the middle of nowhere. One of them we were way up on that summit. That mountain that was way up there. That was probably the worst one, because it was actually kind of chilly up there. Not bad, but enough that I was like, wow, like I feel the difference. That's actually quite something. And so then that was one of them, and then one of them we were in the canyon going away from Price, and then it tried again. And then the 3rd time was, of course, I was almost here. Actually, it occurs to me I'm not sure when I'll fade out until I'm home, so I don't know how much you'll see, but it tried one more time when we were almost here. And then there was a 4th time really early on where it was just a couple of drops. So it tried. So my pant legs are a little bit wet, and there's lots of dead bugs, mostly on my jeans. There's one of them I hit that felt like I got shot with a paintball. That hurt. Anyway, and so yeah, I do need to clean my bike. So maybe tomorrow. That might be on my tomorrow to-do list, is to clean the bikes, because now that it's rained on this one, there'll be water spots all over it, on top of all the dirt and stuff, on all of its dust and things. Anyway, but altogether though, that was a great ride. It was a very, very good ride, and this bike does great at highway and interstate speeds. Even at like 65, 70, 75, it has pull, and the Vulcan just does not feel safe to do 70. It's probably me. It's almost certainly on my end. I don't feel secure doing 70 on the Vulcan, but I did totally feel fine doing 70, 75 on taking the beast out. So that's great, because this, one of its primary purposes is going to be my road trip bike on top of my weekend bike and that kind of thing. It's going to be the bigger one. So if it is comfortable, which obviously it was, then for higher speeds, that's obviously fantastic. Something else that's really nice, having the full size like running boards. That is very comfortable for longer trips. Definitely going to get highway pegs for the highway bars on the sides. That would be really nice. And then I also need to do something about the seat. The seat is not bad. It's better than a lot of stock seats. It's probably it might be better than that seat, that stock seat, but it's not. But I am a little bit sore, so I'm thinking I might need to do something like really different, like maybe I know that there's different kinds of like over seat pads. You can do like a gel pad or like an air pad kind of thing, so we can find some sort of cushion to put on top of the seat, so for longer trips, because I am a hair sore. But altogether it was really cool. I actually did use the cruise a couple of times, once just to see what it was like, but I did notice that it's very precise, and the problem is that the difference between slightly decelerating versus slightly accelerating is very, very slight, and you can feel it when you're doing it yourself. But you have to find that perfect spot you want it, and then you have to get this down in place without moving, and so I did it once to see what it was like, and then it was neat, but I noticed I was slightly accelerating, and so I'm like, oh, okay, too far. So then I turned it off and it was fine, but I kept having to go up and down to make different turns, so I needed to do it manually anyway, which wasn't a big deal. But then the second time that actually it was useful is we were going through the canyon, and I felt something hit my hand, and I was curious to see if it was a bug or like a raindrop, and it felt a little bit. It at the time it stung a little bit, and so I put the cruise down just to hold the bike to. Any kind of speed would be better than just letting go, and so otherwise you'll really start decelerating. And so one time I turned it on briefly to look at my hand, which no doubt you'll see in the video. And but altogether though, it was super fantastic, and it wasn't quite the very bright, partially sunny, partially cloudy kind of day I expected. So I'm hoping that the filter was not too dark. It was much darker for me because, like I said, I am wearing my helmet has has a mirrored visor that's very dark, and so it looked darker for me than it was for you guys. I'm hoping that it will translate in the video fine, and honestly I think it probably will. But altogether though, that was a great longer term test drive, and fuel mileage wise, that second trip we did much better, and we got about 40 miles to the gallon, which obviously is much better. It still is not as good as the Vulcan though. The Vulcan gets 55, and that's in town. It gets like 40, like 54, 55 in town. It actually, if you do a consistent 65-70, it actually gets about 53, and so it actually does a hair worse at high consistent speed. But this one much bigger, but it also does not get that kind of fuel mileage. So yeah, so it does not get that kind of fuel mileage. So we'll have to see what kind of range it sits at. I usually get gas every 150 on the Vulcan, but on the V-Star that will not. I don't think we'll probably won't get to 150. So I might have to do it every 120. Might be a little bit of an okay range, that kind of thing. So we'll see. But anyway, that was a great test drive, and yeah, so anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.